What's up guys, John here. In today's episode, I'm going to show you guys my Dreamcast collection. Now, when I showed you guys my Vita collection, I got a lot of positive feedback. So I do want to say before I get into the games that I don't own every Dreamcast game. I'm not John Hancock. I don't have every US release. I just buy games for a couple genres that I really love and I really am into and like to collect for. And I do want to say I did own a Dreamcast as a kid, and I loved Power Stone. I had Code Veronica, Sonic Adventure. I remember my mom got me one, day one at launch. And I was just a huge fan of the system. And although I don't have all my original games or my original Dreamcast, I'll show you guys what I got now. So anyways, guys, my Dreamcast collection, let's check it out. Okay, so I'm going to start you guys off with some RPG or RPG-ish games. So the first game that we have here is Evolution. Now, I don't know if this is the same game, but I have played through, I'd say about 20% of this game on the GameCube. I'm pretty sure it's the GameCube. This is not an expensive game. I want to say this is like a $15 RPG on the system. So if you want RPGs on the Dreamcast and you don't have a ton of money, look for Evolution. It's pretty common. You can find it for, again, right around $15. Okay, so the next game is another RPG. It's a little bit better. It's Time Stalkers. Now, it's been a few years since I played this game. But again, this is another one of those cheap games. It probably goes for around $15 or $20. I definitely feel like this game is probably worth the $15. I remember there was something about the battle system, or there was some kind of mechanic in this game that kind of aggravated me a little bit. And I remember thinking, oh, now that I know why this game's $15 now. But overall, I thought it was like a halfway decent game for a cheaper budget title on the Dreamcast. Not that this is a budget game or anything, but again, if you want an RPG on the system, look for Time Stalkers. Again, it's like a $15 game. And you can see what I paid for this. I got this maybe 6 or 7 months ago, Phantasy Star Online. I actually owned this back in the early 2000s for the Dreamcast. And I remember, I don't even think I played online when I played this game. I think I just played the single player stuff. But I haven't really cracked into this game recently. I actually haven't cracked into this one at all. I had this game. This is one of those games I had as a kid, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Is this worth playing for the single-player Phantasy Star Online experience? I don't know. Maybe they do one of those things now with the Dreamcast like they're doing with the PS2 where people can play online. That'd be pretty cool. So, if you have information on how to do that, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now we're getting into some better titles here. Okay, so Shenmue. This just got re-released, the first and second game that was, I think, originally only in Europe, but Shenmue 1 and 2 just got re-released on the PlayStation 4, thus making this pretty obsolete. But, one of the things that really stood out to me when I played this game is I got to the point where I was in the arcade, and I got to play, I think it was Space Harrier in this game, and and this was, years and years and years ago, and I remember just walking into the arcade and playing Space Harrier. I'm pretty sure it was Space Harrier, and I was just like, whoa. So, yeah, Shenmue, pretty good game, and pretty good technology for its time. I mean, this was like an open world, go wherever you want kind of game, experience whatever you want kind of game. So, yeah, this kind of set the standard at the time for like MMOs and stuff like that. Okay, so Grandia 2. Now, I have played through the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2 versions of Grandia 2. Honestly, a lot of people prefer the Dreamcast version, and I can kind of see why, but I think they're both pretty good. And this is not that pricey of a game. This game might go for at the most $40. If someone's trying to charge you more than $40 for a copy of Grandia 2, don't buy it. I think I probably got this for about $20 a little while ago, maybe a year or two ago. But a good game, if you're a fan of the Grandia series, I'm a huge fan of Grandia on the PS1. So this is a really good game to play. If you can find it for a deal or, again, under $40, definitely pick it up. It's worth it just for the gameplay alone. Okay, so this is the only fighter I have on the Dreamcast. And this is the reason I need one of those controller adapters where I can use a Saturn controller. Because it's so hard. This game is so good, and using the Dreamcast controller sucks so bad playing this fighting game that I just need to get some other controller to play this game with. But I would say, guys, this is my favorite game in the Street Fighter series. I do like Street Fighter 4 originally when it came out on the PS3, but man, this game has a killer soundtrack. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a video on this game. This might even be my next video, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. This is the best game in the Street Fighter series, in my opinion. The art style, just the combat, the sound, the fucking soundtrack. I heard that there was like some Canadian hip hop artist that did this. It's like a hip hop soundtrack. You know, if you guys don't know about the soundtrack to Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, you know, look it up on YouTube. There's soundtracks posted. But yeah, this is I think this game's gone up in price. I think I got it for like $20, but you know, I remember they had one at a game store near my work, and they wanted like 40 or 50 for it. So I don't know what it's going for now, but yeah, guys, if you could find this, and this was probably released on compilations on the PS2, I believe. But however you want to play it, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, fucking awesome game. Okay, guys, so let's talk about one of my favorite genres of games, and the reason I own the Dreamcast again. So the first game, Giga Wing. Okay, this is a good shooter. The arcade ROM is good. The Dreamcast game is good. They made a game called Giga Wing Generations for the PS2. It only came out in Japan. I'm still trying to locate that game. It's one of those rare, pricey games, but I will find a copy eventually. But this is a good shooter. That's all I'm going to say about this game. You can find it for anywhere from $60 to $100. It's kind of rare, kind of hard to find, but if you can find this game closer to that $60 price point, grab it, because if you're a fan of shoot 'em ups like me, you're not going to regret it. Okay, so Giga Wing 2. So this game can get kind of pricey, in my opinion. This is a okay shooter, but it's nothing like Giga Wing 1. I much more prefer Giga Wing 1, but Giga Wing 2 is okay. Totally not worth the $200-$300 price it's going for now, but yeah, it's all right. Not worth the money. Okay, but this game's worth the money. So Gumbird 2. So this game goes from anywhere from like $80 to like $120. I got this game pretty cheap because of the water damage manual, but okay, so you know how people say that Sonic Wings has all these like original characters you can play as, like the dolphin, and this game has like all these crazy original characters you can play as. Like my favorite guy that you can play as on Gumbird 2 anyway would be the magic carpet flying guy. The like Arabian guy with those like Persian swords that he throws out. They're kind of like heat-sinking missiles. But yeah, Gumbird 2, awesome game. Tons of replay value. Every time you beat the game, you have like an option. Like one of the options for one of the characters is like you want to wash your head or wash your feet. And I remember I chose my feet, and you take your feet off, and they're like, oh god damn, them bitches stink. And all the people pass out. So yeah, Gumbird 2 is fucking awesome. This is the best game I've played thus far on the Dreamcast, as far as shooters go anyway. I highly recommend Gumbird 2. Buy a fucking burn of it, whatever you got to do to play this game. This is fucking worth owning a Dreamcast right here, guys. Okay, so let's talk about some newer games that's come out for the Dreamcast. So, Fast Striker. I got this game, a few years ago when it released for the Dreamcast. This is an NG Dev Team game, so I think they're a German-based company. This is a really, really good shooter. It's pretty hard. This has an amazing, like, hardcore techno soundtrack. I totally dig the sprite style of this game. A lot of the NG Dev Team and HuCast games have that very similar graphical style. Then, do you guys know, is HuCast and NG Dev Team, are they the same thing? You know, can you let me know in the comments down below? I mean, the way they have their logo on the spines are the same. This is a copy of Redux Dark Matters. But look, HuCast, NG Dev Team, both made in Germany, both region free. Like, you see how like everything looks similar? So, I don't know. I feel like HuCast and NG Dev Team are in cahoots. Actually, you know what? I think someone told me a while back, like, both companies are owned by brothers or something. I don't know, but yeah, Fast Striker. Buy it on the PS4. Play Asia does have copies available now, I do believe, like a little collector's edition or whatever. I'm still thinking about whether I should buy that because I already own the game on the Dreamcast. So I really don't need 2 copies of it. But this is a good shooter. Awesome soundtrack. Pick it up. Okay, so Redux Dark Matters. So this is kind of like a sequel to Dux, which I do not own. But Ducks was it was kind of like an independent game developed for and released on the Dreamcast. I don't know if it came out on the AES or anything like that, or the MVS. It might have. I do know Fast Striker came out on the AES and MVS, I believe, and copies of that on that system, they're going to cost you a couple grand. But this is a pretty interesting shooter. I'm a big fan of it. It's got interesting sound, visuals, a little bit different than Fast Striker, but good nonetheless. Watch some video on this game. This is a pretty good shooter. And again, this is like a reimagining or kind of like a sequel to Ducks, the original Ducks for the Dreamcast, which I do not own. But maybe this game will come out for the PS4 one day. I don't know. Okay, so we have Gunlord. Okay, so this is another NG Dev Team game. NG Dev Team. This is like a run and gun shooter, like a Metroidvania type of game. It's really, really good. I bought it because I found it cheap, and I was like, played it for a few minutes, and then I broke into it one day and started playing it for real. And this game is awesome. I do feel like they'll probably end up porting this to other systems. Yeah, this game, I do believe this was released for the AES as well. If it was, I'm sure it's going to cost you a couple grand. But you can find copies of this for the Dreamcast for, I don't know, like $60. Totally worth it. Awesome game. Came out a few years ago. Yeah, Gunlord on the Dreamcast. If you like run and gun shooters, Metroid, or like run and gun shooters, Contra, you're going to love this game. And I don't know why I have this, but I have a 3DO sample disc in this pile. I don't even own a 3DO. I don't know why I would own a 3DO, but if any of you guys need this, I have a sample disc for the 3DO. So just let me know in the comments down below. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. Let me know if you need this because I got a copy of it. Okay, so I know it's not the biggest collection in the world. Like I said, it's just a few games for a couple of genres that I really enjoy. RPGs and shoot 'em ups. I mean, who doesn't collect games for those type of genres? But I want to talk about some of the stuff that I'm looking for the system. Other than the games and the shooters and the RPGs and stuff like that, and Skies of Arcadia, I wish I had that game. But some of the stuff I'm looking for is, first of all, a VGA box, and I just want that. That way I can convert that to HDMI and use it on an HD TV. I am looking for the code breaker disc, or I could probably download the ISO online and burn it onto a disc. And basically I want that because I love shoot 'em up so much. I want to start collecting mainly Japanese Dreamcast games, and there might be some PAL games out there. But I want that disc, that way I can play those games. That way I don't have to buy a Japanese Dreamcast, kind of like I did with the PlayStation. I got a Japanese PS2, that way I can play Japanese PS1 and PS2 games. But apparently on the Dreamcast, there's a few different options for playing different regions, and apparently Codebreaker is the best way to go. So I want that Codebreaker disc. It's like a $100 disc, but people can burn it. So I think you can download the ISO online and burn it onto a disc. So that's probably something I'm going to do. I might even do a video on that. And the last thing that I want is the Saturn controller adapter for the Dreamcast. So the Dreamcast has this controller adapter. It came out a few years ago that allows you to use Saturn controllers on the Dreamcast. And, the Saturn controller I love, but mainly I want it so I can use my Saturn Hori arcade stick on my Dreamcast. That way I can enjoy all those shooters. God, I've been wanting that controller adapter for a while. And, I'm such a cheapskate. I'm going to wait till I find it really cheap. But, guys, sometimes that bites me in the ass because I'll wait so long that the price ends up going up. So if anyone's got one, they're trying to, sell really cheap, let me know. I'll buy it off you. But anyways, guys, what are some of the awesome games you guys have in your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. If there's some shooters out there that I don't know about, let me know as well. I love learning about new shooters. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching now. Remember to like this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace out.